Hey there, everybody. Welcome in the kitchen with Tally Faye. I got my main squeeze in here tonight, Buzz. He's going to show y'all how to do this cheesy deer steak dish, y'all. And this is a family favorite. The kids, everybody does, but the kids especially love this cheesy deer steak he makes. And it's one of those good dishes to, a good way to utilize your deer meat other than just eating fried deer steak, just plain fried deer steak all the time and stuff. So I wanted y'all to see we've got a lot of prep work done and stuff, so he's going to kind of walk y'all through it, what he's done and stuff. But what I do want you to know is that you can use, you don't have to, ain't it, baby? You can use beef
round steak.
Beef round, tenderized. If not, they have to tenderize it, right? It has to be tenderized.
Well, it helps because round steak is not the tenderest cut of meat, so it does help. Now what I've done here, I've got about 1.5 pounds of venison round, and I've gone through it and I've trimmed it all up and cut it into bite-sized pieces.
See, look, y'all.
And then I seasoned it with some seasoned meat tenderizer, and then I took my meat hammer and hammered it out, tenderized it a little bit more. So now, if Tally will quit showing it to you, I'm going to dredge it in some flour.
Let me take it down from here and I'm going to walk over there with you.
Now, I've got my oil in my skillet here, which I've just got enough to cover the bottom of the skillet, really. I don't want a whole lot of oil in there, but I'm going to dredge that in some flour and drop that in there and just let it brown on both sides real good.
Now you want your grease good and hot where it's sizzling. You don't want to put your grease in there, your meat in there if it's not, your grease isn't good and hot. And see, look, you don't have very much grease in the bottom of that skillet now.
Well, that's because when I get through browning this, I want to use this same skillet because when I cook, that means I have to clean up and wash dishes. And I don't care to wash no more dishes than I have to. So,
I love it.
So I'll use the same skillet when I get all this done. So.
All right, well, we're going to get this skillet filled up, and I'll set that camera up or something where we can show a little bit of different stuff going on there. Okay, so see, he's got his pan loaded, and he's just going to start browning them. Now, what were we saying about the browning, Lynn?
Well, I like to let it brown pretty good on both sides. It just seems like it comes out a little bit better when you do it that way. Now I season this with just a little bit of seasoned meat tenderizer.
Your meat?
The meat. Now you can season it any way you want. A little garlic powder or garlic salt and pepper works really well with it. My flour, it's just flour with a little bit of salt and pepper in it. But like I said, I'm just letting it brown a little bit on one side and turning it over. I can't get it all in this one pan, so once it gets brown good, then I'll take it out. I've got a pan here to put it in and put the rest of it in there, and then once it's all brown good, then I'll go to the next step.
So that's what we're doing. He's going to get that brown nicely, and I got us a pan here with a paper towel on it, and he's just going to take it up in here and fill him up another skillet full of it. When we get that process done, then we'll show you the next step on it. Is that, you think that's the next thing that's where we're going with it from there?
Yeah.
Lynn? Okay.
Yeah, once it's browned, then we'll wind up putting it all back in the same skillet and going to the next step.
Okay, all right. We're going to stop right there on that and get all our meat pieces browned up. Okay, so.
Yeah, we've got our meat browned, and you can see there's very little oil left in there. So
this is a big old skillet, y'all.
If I had very much oil in it, I'd pour some of it out. But that's not too much. So what I'm gonna do, this meat that I've already browned, which is
That
pan's
pan's hot.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in here with the rest of it.
Get all them giblets.
What I'm trying to do.
They what makes that gravy good.
Okay. Now, what I need to do, first off, is turn this fire down. Because I want it down just where it'll simmer. Alright. Now, I've got one large onion chopped up here. Now, a lot of people don't like onion, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think it would be right without it. And we have fed this or served it to a lot of people that don't like onions. They can't even tell it's there. So, got that.
It cooks so long, y'all, simmering, that the onions just break down in there, but the flavor of them is just, it's like they're a vital part of it, ain't it?
Right.
Okay,
Now, I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of water here. And now I'm going to do something that actually I've never done before, but we got these fresh mushrooms. And so I sliced those up, and we both love mushrooms, so I'm fixing to put those in with it.
You did not have to put the mushrooms in there, though.
No.
That's just something he's adding in there tonight. If you love mushrooms like we do this.
So
If
now,
you don't, just skip that step.
and now I'm not even going to stir that in. I've got the water in there. I'm fixing to put a lid on it. I've got the fire turned down. I'm going to let this simmer for about 45 minutes. Now, I will check it in between to make sure the water hadn't all cooked out. If it does, then I'll add a little bit more water to it and stir it around. But for now, we're just going to let it simmer for a while and go to the next step when it's done.
All right. We got the potatoes getting ready to start boiling. How y'all like my corn pot? I cut them corn on the cobs in half. Oh, I think they're done anyway. I cut them in half, and I was running out of room on the stovetop, so I had to use my little pot here, but it worked perfect for them. I'll just leave them in there. It'll stay hot in there forever. I'm gonna fix up these mashed potatoes to ladle this cheesy deer steak over. And I'm going to do my potatoes tonight with some garlic and fresh dill and salt and pepper and butter in there. And get them all good and fluffy and stuff with all that flavoring in there to ladle that cheesy deer steak over. So we'll have our corn on the cob, our garlic dill mashed potatoes, Buzzy's cheesy deer steak, and he's also got his famous coleslaw in the refrigerator chilling. So we're going to be eating good tonight. We'll come back after a little while, y'all. Cheesy deer steak. It's a simmering. That's what's for supper. Alright, so he's just going to peek at it now, see? That's been, is it even?
What's it been? It's actually, I need to turn
It's
that
turned
fire
down
up
too
a little
low.
bit. Yeah.
It needs to simmer a little bit
Yeah.
more than that. That skillet's so big, though. Yeah, you want it simmered a little more than
I've
that,
still got
don't you?
plenty of water in there.
Okay, so that's good
But
to
yeah,
go.
I need to turn it up a little.
Okay, now we're using, y'all. It's the Velveeta cheese, but we use the HEB brand, just the original cheese melt. And he's got, what is that?
We've got about a half of that block. So
Okay.
what is it, 2 pound block? So that's about 1 pound.
So about 1 pound of
Now.
this Velveeta cheese. All right, let's look at it and see where you're
This
at
has
on
been
that.
simmering for about 45 minutes. So you can see it's not real juicy there, but it's not completely dry. So what I'm fixing to do now is cut this cheese up in some blocks, and I'm going to put that in there.
Look at that, y'all.
Fixing to drop that in there. Go ahead and get the rest of it put up here.
What'd you say? It's a pound?
About a pound, yeah.
To this, what was it, a pound and a half of meat?
A pound and a half of meat. Now one thing you want to make sure on that meat, like I said, I trimmed it up and this is venison, but you want to make sure and trim it up and get all the fat and the gristle and everything out. You know, whether you're using venison or beef.
Just make sure you get it clean good, like from the tendon or fat or anything like that.
So now, I've got that in there. Now I'm fixing to cover it back up and let it melt. And once it melts, we're going to stir it all in and it's going to be ready to eat.
So the fire's still going?
Yes.
You're leaving the fire going and
Yes.
it don't need no more water or nothing in it?
Nope, it's good just like that.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. That don't take very long, y'all. It's fixing to be ready, so we're going to let that sit there and melt, and we'll come back and show you that. All right, y'all, looky there. There it is with that cheesy gravy all in it. You did good, baby.
Yep, I think it ought to be pretty good.
See, so look, there's our potatoes with the garlic and onion in them. Just take it like this. Do you a nice big thing of potatoes on there. Ladle that on them. There it is right there, y'all.
There we go.
Alright, look at that. I believe we're going to be eating good tonight. Hey, listen. Thank you for helping me tonight.
Well, you finally talked me into it. So.
It was a good night. It's going to be a good night. There's Buzz's cheesy deer steak, y'all. Don't be scared. Y'all try this out. And we'll see y'all next time in the kitchen with Tally Faye.